All right, y'all, I am going to make some chili today. I had a little bit of hamburger meat left over right here from the other day that I had made a hamburger or something. I had a little bit of that left over, and I'm going to add some that I got last night at the grocery store. This in here is probably a pound, okay? And this one right here is 3 pounds, so I'm probably going to use 2 pounds of it. Well, it's actually almost 4 pounds. 3.5 pounds. I'm going to use about this much of it. About half of that. Right here. And what I'm doing is putting it in my black skillet, and I'm going to fry it up and drain it really super good. Then I'm going to put it on my stuff, and that'll be a good thing. It'll take, and I'm going to put it in this pot right here when you get through. I mean, that's what I'm going to actually cook it in. I'm just frying it in here for a while. Chili's real easy to make, and I've got a recipe for it. I made it a while back, and you just have to scroll back and see how I made it that day. Sometimes I make it big. Sometimes I make it little. But one thing for sure is I always make it. All right, we're going to let that cook a while. I'll be right back. All right, while our meat is cooking, and it's doing a good job, it's just cooking away. I keep chopping it up. I hate to find big old chunks of meat in my chili. I like for it to be chopped up. So I do it with the end of my spatula like that. Anyway, I'm going to start adding stuff in this pot because this is actually what we're going to put it in. And I'm going to add this, which is a tomato sauce, and it's 29 ounces. Now I'm going to add some, these are called light kidney beans. Light kidney beans, okay? Let me get the top up, done up. I'm going to add juice and all. Light kidney beans. I'm going to add 4 cans of those. And that William, he will eat them, I'm telling you. And so will all my granddaughters. All of them. Everybody in our family likes chili. So there's 4 cans of your light kidney beans, and these were, let me see what, ounce. I was trying to find the ounce for you. Here it is. No, that's not it. Yeah, it is. It's a pound, 16 ounces. So I got 4 pounds of kidney beans. Now I'm going to add some petite diced tomatoes, and it's the same size can as the chili beans. I like tomatoes in mine. Now I'm going to cut up some onions. Sorry, y'all, I missed a can. We're going to add 5 cans. So when I went to the grocery store to buy what I wanted, and then I got home and I forgot I only put 4 cans in there. I'm putting 5 in there. I'm going to put 5 in there. I'm going to fill everybody up. I think I'll drain that one. I don't need that little juice in there. There we go. Now then, I got 5 cans of kidney beans in there. Now I'm going to cut up my onions. I've got 3 pretty nice sized ones. 2 kind of big, the other one's kind of about medium size. We're going to saute these just a little bit. Most of it's going to cook actually in the chili itself. You need some good onions in there, that's for sure. What do y'all put on top of your chili? When I was growing up, we didn't put anything on top of ours. We just ate chili and crackers, something like that. We didn't have, I don't know, Mama didn't ever offer us anything to go on top. But in the last few years, I've eaten some chili that has, they do a dollop of sour cream on the top. And they do some grated cheese on the top after you put it in your bowl. And it is good like that. So sometimes I do too. I do that. But these onions are going to make it. And if it looks like this is not enough, I bought a whole bag of them over there. in my basket, and I will get those out, and we'll put another onion in if we feel like we need it. Guess what I'm doing? I'm not even gonna tell you. You'll have to listen and figure it out. As Hannah said the other day, do they know when you're washing clothes? I said, yes, they do. I had to get some new sheets. I got one set. The others at the where they tuck in under the mattress, it tore up. I mean, it just got a hole in it. I don't know why, or I don't know how that happened, but it certainly happened. All right, I'm gonna finish this up, and then we're gonna drain our meat. I'm gonna put up one more while I'm with y'all, and then we'll drain our meat. And yes, I know this is a Christmas apron, and it isn't even Christmas, but it's what I grabbed. It is what I grabbed. Just gonna cut these up sweet little cubes here. You know, it's amazing how, you know, I've told y'all before that my contacts protect my eyes and that I don't have any burning from onions. You know, some people absolutely can't cut them up. They cry the whole time because that gas, I guess, in that onion comes up and gets in their eyes. But these contacts protect that gas from getting in there, I guess. I mean, I don't know what else it could be. But I can cut up onions all day long and it doesn't do not one thing if I've got on my contacts. Now, if I go back there and put on those readers, you can bet I'd be crying like a baby. Like a baby. Baby. All right. I'm not going to cut up the others while you're watching because it takes too long. We got a long video today. All right, our meat is done, and so here's what we want to do, or here's what I do, and I'm sure you probably do the very same thing, honey. You probably do the very same thing. Let me move you back a little bit so we can see good. Well, I dropped my spatula. Let me throw it over here in the dishwater. All right, now then, here's my meat, and it is done. It's not, you don't want to fry it hard. You want it to be soft because chili's supposed to be soft. You're not supposed to find old hard, crusty meat in your chili. All right, what I do is I pull my meat to one side like this so that my grease drains down to the opposite side of the pan. And I've got me a cup out here. So I'm going to dip this spatula thing, a ladle down in there and get that grease off of it so we won't have it in our arteries. Get as much as I can. I'm just draining it really super good with it up like this. If you leave it flat and push it to one side, push the meat to one side, it doesn't do as good. This way it's actually draining that grease down to the opposite side. You can just get it out, see? Throw that away. All right, now I've got just about it all out of there that I could get. Might be another teaspoon or two. All right, now I'm going to take this water and put it at the top of that. And I'm going to kind of stir this around in that water. And if there's any grease that's on that meat, it'll come off in that water because the water's now hot. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing over again and pull that water off. I'm going to let it drain just a minute. I'm going to pull that water off and put it in the cup. And that's called washing your meat, or that's what I do. I wash my meat. All right, see, there's a big thing of it right there. All right, I'm going to put that in there. And that's just about going to get any kind of grease that's left in that meat. I like to do it this way, and that way when you eat your chili, you know that you're getting something really healthy. You're getting some good meat, and those beans are high protein, and tomatoes and all. It's going to be so good. All right, now I'm going to put this in my big pot over here that y'all can see. Oh, it's heavy, I know that. And I'm going to put this back over here. And I've got it turned on low. And we're going to put our onions in this same pot so we don't have to mess up another pot. That's what we're going to do. Alright, so I cut up all 3 of these onions. And we're going to let these cook in here just a little bit, just to kind of get them a little bit soft. You don't have to cook them too long because they're going to saute in there anyway. I mean, boil or simmer in there anyway. I think 3 is going to be plenty. I was debating whether to put 4, but I think these were so big. I think they'll work. Alright, and we'll turn it up just a little bit to get it kind of hot. And that'll help clean out this pan too. And we won't have to wash so much. Alright, so let's come over here to our chili now. Let's teach on the other side where you could see down in the chili pot. There. While our onions are going to get a little tender. Alright, now what I'm going to do now is we haven't added any chili powder. Let me stir it up a little bit. Look how good and thick that looks. Isn't that pretty? We're going to get these onions in there. We're going to let this simmer most of the afternoon and have a little low boil. And then tonight it'll be ready to eat. It's lunchtime now, and that's why I'm making it now. That looks like about the right amount of beans versus meat. You see what I mean? You're getting a lot of meat and a lot of beans, which are both good for you. All right, let me get out my chili powder. All right, now I don't normally measure chili powder, but I am today. Let me get me out a measuring spoon. And I'm going to measure it because when I taste it, I'll be able to say to y'all put more or less or whatever, but I know that you're going to want to know how much I'm putting in there, aren't you? Y'all want to know. All right, here we go. This is a tablespoon. I'm going to start with 4. 1. I buy this big thing of chili powder because I like a lot. 2. It's not chili without chili powder, is it? 3. And 4. All right, we're going to do that. And then later on this afternoon, it's got to have time to simmer and do in here, and when it does, later on this afternoon, I'll taste it, and if it needs more, I'll put it. It definitely won't need less, I can tell you. It tastes good with that in it. I have not put any salt yet, or any kind of spices, except for the chili powder, and the reason for it is this. Those tomatoes and that tomato sauce all have high salt content in it, especially that tomato sauce. And so that's why I'm not putting it in yet, because I don't know how it's going to taste yet because of the tomato sauce. So don't be in a hurry to salt things. Just salt it as you go, okay? All right, our onions are kind of cooking up just a little bit here. We're going to put those in. And then I'm going to move this pot over to here because this is the only big eye I've got. My back eye doesn't work. This old stove's had it. But that's what I'm cooking on. Somebody asked me the other day, why don't you have a gas stove? Well, I don't know why I don't have. My mama used electric. I've always used electric, so that's why I got electric. But I like to use gas. I mean, I've used it before. I've got gas at the Cottle house. All right, so those are getting kind of tender. But anyway, the reason that I hadn't gotten that new stove is because the new electric stove, and I've told you this, is because that top of the stove nowadays, whether it's the flat top or the eyes, they tell you you'll be frying okra or something, and everything's going good, it's frying good, and your stove decides that it's too hot, so it cuts itself off. So then your okra's sitting in that grease, getting soggy. Well, my stove doesn't do that, because it's the old kind. It turns off when I turn it off, not when it decides it wants to turn off. I mean, it is something. And then your washing machine decides how much water it needs to be in there. Well, I know how much water I want, but mine won't let me put it. It decides on its own. It's got a brain in there. And I don't like its brain. What about that? What about those apples? Y'all heard that? What about those apples? All right, y'all, it's time now to put our onions over here. They are not brown. They're just kind of clear or glassy looking, or whatever you can call it. Let me get me a hot pad. We're going to move her over. Move her over. Then I'm going to move this to here, and then we're going to start our simmering process. That's all it is to it. You have just made homemade chili. And a pot of it. How many are you having for supper tonight? Get you out a box of crackers and have you a good time. A big jug of tea, a big box of crackers, and a big pan of chili. All right, we're going to put this right over here because this is my big eye, since it's the one that works. Okay, come over here where you can see down in it good. I'll put you right up here on it. How about that? Turn you right down there in it like that where you can see. Oh, yes. All right, now see, our pan is full. It's good, thick chili. And I'm going to turn it down to about 2 or 3. And I'm not in any hurry for it to cook any, to be, because I'm not going to serve it till nighttime anyway. I'm just mixing it up right now. And I can tell you what, I don't like my chili dry, so what I did when I went to the grocery store is I bought 2 cans of the tomato sauce. But I didn't put but 1 in there because I wasn't sure how it was going to look. And if this simmers this afternoon and it looks too thick for me and my taste, I'm going to put 1 more can of tomato sauce in it. Or if I need to put more chili powder, I'll do that. I'm going to taste it. Hey, y'all got a taster too. So anyway, here it is, and I'm going to put a top on it, and I'm going to tighten these little knobs on here. They just twist. Look at that thing. Twisting every which way. I got to go get my Phillips head screwdriver and get it fixed. All right, y'all. That's the chili. And it is so good. It's homemade. It's not expensive to make. As a matter of fact, they didn't have any yesterday. But if you're making for a crowd, go ahead and use that 3.5 pounds of your hamburger meat that you had and buy a gallon. Just buy the gallon can, because it's cheaper, of the light pinto beans. Light kidney beans. You can make it with pinto beans. And that is delicious. And I do that sometimes too. I kind of change my beans around. But anyway, 3.5 pounds of hamburger meat, a gallon of your light colored pinto beans, or either 5 cans of the ones I showed you, 2 cans of diced tomatoes. Try to get the petite so it'll be all in there. 3 onions. We put in 4 tablespoons of chili powder. And what else do we put? That's it. That's it. And then you just go on about your business and let this simmer. And you probably could do it in your crock pot. A lot of y'all are crock pot cookers. So you might want to do your hamburger meat and your onions on your stove and then just throw it all in the crock pot with everything else. But you'd have to have a big old crock pot and then sit in a little one. And this freezes real well too. So, and you can get you out some sour cream and cheese and all that kind of stuff. And eat it with that. But it'll be so good. And it's homemade. It's homemade, y'all. You're going to have to learn to cook some homemade stuff. You can't keep buying all this boxed stuff. You've got to conserve a little bit. I guess I have to. Bye-bye.